The other aspect we can get into is protein. Protein needs to be distributed at specific meals. The distribution needs to be high, and eating lots of small meals is a really bad choice for a lot of reasons. Talking about a protein requirement just reflects ignorance. We have specific requirements for 9 essential amino acids, and that gets into the complexity then, because these amino acids are essential for building blocks for new protein, but every one of them has a metabolic role, like leucine and mTOR, or arginine and nitric oxide, or lysine and carnitine, or systine and glutathione. And all of those roles are vastly above the minimum that is detected for nitrogen balance for the RDA. And so that's where people fall apart, is that we think about vitamin C, and we know there's a minimum RDA to prevent scurvy, but people will take 5 or 10 times that during COVID for immune response. But we resist thinking that way about amino acids, and it's exactly the same. Yeah, so a little bit like a fatty acid, an amino acid has a carboxy end connected with a carbon, and then it has a nitrogen end. And when the body is making, so when we eat protein, we get these amino acids in some sort of a string, but we totally digest them down to probably individual amino acids, maybe di or tripeptides, and we absorb them that way. They get to the blood as single amino acids for the most part. And then the body begins to reconnect them based on the messenger RNAs. Our DNA tells us how to reconnect them. And so we connect a carbon to a nitrogen and we string them together. Of these 20 amino acids, though, they all have that acid and nitrogen part, but they also have a side chain, ranging from very simple one like glycine with just a hydrogen to ones like tryptophan that have a big aromatic part to them. And so all of these are different, and they go into proteins in different structures. The DNA tells us how we put them together, and proteins can be simple like insulin with 51 amino acids, or they could be like myosin with thousands. And so they're also, and then every protein in the body has a different turnover rate. Some of them, like insulin, might last 15 minutes, and some of them, like myosin, or we'll just take collagen, might last But beyond that building block structure, then every amino acid has other kinds of structures. It might be like lysine, where part of it becomes the molecule known as carnitine, which is for fatty acid metabolism, or it might be the nitrogen off arginine that goes to nitric oxide for vasorestriction, or it might be cysteine, which goes to part of creatinine or glutathione. So we can get the leucine, which is sort of my favorite, which is a signal, which really got me interested in protein and metabolism, is a signal for muscle protein synthesis. So again, they all have this building block structure. They get strung together in different links, but they also have other metabolic functions, and that's what people don't recognize when they're talking about protein requirements.
Annotated and summarized, easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.